for us to win that game for them, and all that Vince has meant to our university and such an ambassador of our program and really all of college football. So I know if he was looking down on that one, he would have enjoyed the first half. I don't know that he would have enjoyed the second one, but he and Irk probably had a laugh together about it, and he's meant so much to us, and just in honor of him and their family, it was special. It was a tough time for that to happen. But our fans were awesome here. The environment was good. We lost momentum in the second half. We faced resiliency, stared it in the eye, and we didn't blink. And I'm really proud of our players. There was a time there where we lost momentum, and that's happened to us more this year than it did last year, and we bounced back. So I was really proud of the players.
Questions?
Yeah, Coach, talk about just, you already did the response offensively after a couple of turnovers, 28-20, they get back into it for your offense to respond and score right there. What's that mean?
Yeah, that was probably the drive of the year so far, right? I mean, they answered the bell. It's 28-20, and we've lost momentum. We've had, I guess, 3 kickoff returns, it felt like, in a row. We weren't getting field position, and Kenny had the fumble. And I thought Kenny McIntosh showed a little something tonight. Now, when he came out after that fumble, and he had that eye of the tiger look, and he wanted the ball, and he was running the ball hard and physical and getting yards after contact. And it's a lot of credit to the offensive line, but that's a lot of credit to Kenny as well. And that drive that you're referencing was big for us.
What'd you say to Kirby after he came off the field? You went out to Kenny. What would you
No, I don't think I talked to him after the fumble.
No, after the touchdown.
Well, I told him that he's a bad MFer. I mean, he's tough. He's physical. He gets after it, and he responded. That's what I talk about. You've got an opportunity to show resiliency, which is one of our 4 DNA characteristics, and I promise you, every NFL scout and every Georgia fan watching will remember the way he responded. He ran the ball with just vicious attitude, contact-seeking running back.
You got Jalen Carter back tonight, and it looked like he played mainly on third downs. I saw you talking to him several times when he came off the field. How big was that, and how did he look, in your opinion?
I couldn't tell you how he looked, because I was trying to watch the back end and make sure our adjustments were there. So we'll watch the tape and evaluate it. It was great that he fought himself to get back. He rehabbed himself to get back. He wanted to play. He loves this team. It's important to him in a day and age where some kids don't care about the team. He cares about the team, and he wanted to play. And he took on the role we asked him to take on, and hopefully he continues to get healthy. Look, we need him. We're missing some guys in depth in the front. As we play more snaps, we struggle, and it showed in the second half there.
We saw Nolan come out. Do you have any update on that?
I'm not even sure what it is. I want to say it's a separated shoulder. I don't know how severe it is, so we'll find out. I know that Chaz came in and did a really good job. Beefy did a good job, Robert Bill, and filled in for him. Marvin had the flu, so we couldn't get Marvin in there. We had several guys that were sick coming into the game. So,
Kirby, I know ideally you want every play to be executed properly, but is there something to be said for this sort of win in terms of your confidence going into a game like you've got next week?
Any win exudes confidence. You guys criticize the wins. I'm great with the wins. In the SEC, when you beat Florida, any win. And they're hard to come by. They're tough. They're physical. They're hard fought. I'm proud of the way our guys played.
Where were you when you found out that Dooley passed away, and maybe what's a favorite memory that you have of his Dooley?
We just landed in Jacksonville, so we took off and wasn't aware of anything. Then the phones, started dinging, and the text messages started coming through. And Garrett, his son, who I worked on staff with, sent me a text, and Claude sent me a text. So we knew that it was kind of imminent, and I had gotten to visit with him a little bit last week and sat down. He was in the training room, and we got to talk for a while. And of course, I didn't know that would be the last time, but that's probably my fondest memory, because even then he was telling stories about Georgia football, and he's been around my family. They've been in the box during these SEC championships and national championships, and my kids have gotten to be around him. And it's funny because my kids had no idea, like, who's the old coach, who's this old guy, and now they know the history and what all he stood for and what his family did for this university, and got a lot of respect for him.
Kirby, did you have any meaningful conversations with him when you were a player here?
Probably more interaction, as, you know, he was the AD, and he would come in and speak to us once a year. You know, I was close to Mike, and Mike's married into his family there with the Nishads, so I've always been around him. And I remember him talking at an LSU football clinic when I was a coach there, and he was the keynote guest speaker. Nick had him come in, and just an incredible job, and just someone so wise and classy, and he's really a person of the arts, you know, and you don't find that in our profession. And it's really cool and unique, just who he is and how he's treated everybody. What's cool to me is I see all the social media. There's not one person that I look at on social media, from Twitter to Facebook, that doesn't have a picture with him. And they all post the picture with him, and it's their memory of him. And he touched every life in the state, and just did so much for our program.
Kirby, can you elaborate on this?
You're having to run here in this series like Vince had, like Steve Spurrier had. You won 5 out of 6. How hard is it to get that kind of momentum to do what Coach Dooley did, to do what Coach Spurrier did in the 90s in this series?
Well, it's hard to win any series in the SEC, you know, especially when you're talking about a top program in the country. I mean, you know, I don't look at it as runs. I look at it as each individual year, you know. I mean, I still think we should have won the year we lost here. That's the game that probably haunts me the most, is that we didn't play worth a crap 2 years ago here, and you wonder why, you know. And you worry about each individual year. You don't worry about runs. And Billy's going to do a great job. He already is, because he's recruiting hard, and those guys didn't stop. They didn't fight. They didn't quit fighting now. They came out in the second half and answered the bell.
Can you elaborate on this season? I mean, last year you had all the guys coming back. It was like you were supposed to win it. This year's team, 15 guys gone to the league, 13 transfers, you're 8-0. Is it a different feeling? Is this journey?
They're all different. I mean, they really are all different. I mean, this team is so different than last year's, and this team continues to work hard and get better. You know, Stetson's playing good. He had some moments tonight, but he also did some really, really good things in that game that maybe the normal eye doesn't see. And if we can take away the couple of the decisions, he played really well, and it allows us to score, because we're probably not what we were defensively last year. But we play as a team, we play complementary football, and that's important, you know. But we have to keep getting better. Like, we're not there, and people want to put us there, but we're not there.
What was your reaction to that Brock Bowers TD where you like juggled it and still found a way to run it?
I immediately thought it was karma for the other one, the one to Darnell. You know, it's just like we didn't get the Darnell one, but we got that one, and it bounced back our way.
Is it difficult to gain momentum after you lose it in the third quarter, and especially in a 50-50 environment?
It's hard. You start losing it, and you're thinking, what can we do? You know, you're looking, you're searching, and that's where, as coaches, we got to do a great job with our players. You know, we got a young, true freshman that doesn't get over the top in cover 2 and gives up a huge play. I mean, just momentum play. And hey, guess what? He's got to go back out there and play. You know, he's going to have to go play. And as a coach, you can't lose him, because I've seen him get that look in their eye. He bounced back, made some good plays for us, and he's going to be a good player.
Kirby, what happened on that play, Coach, that long touchdown?
You know, we just didn't play it right.
As a coach, do you enjoy that kind of seeing what the best kind of come out in players like that when they face adversity?
I don't enjoy losing the momentum in a game. I enjoy the fact that we never blinked, and the kids were saying the right things on the sideline. You know, there's 2 things when adversity hits: you fracture or you connect. And our team connected, and they reached out to each other, and they helped each other.
We know what kind of team Tennessee is going to bring it there next week, regardless of what they do tonight. They like to throw outside, like to throw deep. But how much of a concern is that, based on what you've seen, that break down some others?
Well, I mean, is it a concern? They run the ball really well, guys. I know you don't believe me, but they run the ball really well, which is why they throw the ball outside, because everybody's got people inside. They have a perfect storm. They've got really fast, elite wideout with a quarterback with a really strong arm. You know, if they had a quarterback that couldn't throw it, you'd say, well, they're one-dimensional. But they have a kind of a perfect storm going for his offense. And when he has that, it's really, really, really hard to stop. They go at an elite pace, and they do a tremendous job.
Kirby, how much do you think y'all were able to affect Anthony Richardson? Y'all maybe didn't get a ton of sacks, but it seems like y'all were harassing him all night and, you know, kept him from ripping off a bunch of huge scrambles.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job affecting him. I mean, I thought he's hard to tackle. You can't finish on him, and there's really no way to simulate it. We tried to, you know, do drills all week where we're tackling a big back that's like the quarterback, and when he gets up next to you, he's a big man, and he's a hell of a football player, and I think he's gotten a lot better.
I know your thoughts on the recruiting aspect of the game down here, but once the whistle goes off, do you enjoy playing this game in Jacksonville? Doing all
I
this?
enjoy all games. I enjoy all games. I do. That's why I coach. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about where it is, who it is. It's nothing about that. It's about rivalries. It's about the SEC. It's the pageantry. It's the emotion back and forth. I mean, it's incredible.
You mentioned earlier about getting better every step of the way. How have you seen Brock Bowers do that with a career high, I think 154 receiving yards today?
Well, yeah, I think he gets opportunities, right? So he got touches, he got opportunities, he made the most of them. He makes a lot of contested catches. I mean, that catch on 4th down, you know, I don't think that was going to be a first down. I think it was going to be 4th and 2, and we still got to convert. Well, it didn't matter because he went and got the ball, and he makes a lot of plays on the ball. So he is the ultimate competitive excellence guy. Hardly talks about it all the time. Competitive excellence is when it's 50-50 or when you got to go make a play, can you make it? And we've seen him do it over and over again.
We hadn't seen a lot of Kenny between the tackles until this game. Obviously, like you said, he had the eye of the tiger. Can you just talk about handing it to the senior there?
Y'all kill me with this between the tackles thing. Like, there's no like run that says between the tackles. There's an inside zone, there's an outside zone, there's counter, and there's all these different plays. They hit different places based on what the defense does. So Kenny ran the ball really, really hard and did a good job. We ran it in between the tackles against Auburn. You know, we ran it in between the tackles against other people. Sometimes we move them, sometimes we don't. Sometimes they slant, sometimes they don't. But I thought when he came back after the fumble, he came back with a vengeance. And you watch the way he ran the ball, it was like, man, that dude's running possessed. And he wanted it. And that's what, it reminded me of Nick and Sony of the championship game, the game against Oklahoma, where he was like, oh man, give me the ball back, coach, I messed it up. And he ran pissed off. And that's what Kenny did.
Can you talk about O-line depth? Like y'all needed it out there today, especially with Truss and Mims gone.
Yeah, we were getting dinged up. Warren's shoulder was messing with him. Truss had a toe. But he still played. He played on field goal PAT. So I don't know how severe that is. Mims' knee, but I think he's going to be fine. I mean, I think it's a slight MCL, not like Jalen's. But again, you don't know the answer to these things until tomorrow or further.
Speaking of Jalen, was he comfortable the whole game?
He felt like he was. He told us he felt good in warm-ups, felt good. You know, we tried not to put him in a pounding situation, but they pound all the time. I mean, it's 3rd down. We knew that there was a threat they would run it, you know. But I gotta go back and watch the tape because you know I don't know if he made any plays, but his snap volume was huge for Nas and Zion on 1st and 2nd down.
How big was he? Had 13 give up 13 yards and 13 carries for them in the first half. It led the nation.
You know, that was
Yards per
awesome,
carry.
but it was just
Yeah.
as bad. In the second half, I thought we tackled poorly, and I mean at the half, I don't know that defensively we had played better in a half than we did that half. And then the drive in the second half, the first one, I don't know if we played as we never played it that bad. It just snowballed on us.
2 more questions. What about Dejon Edwards' progress in this game? Performance.
Man, he's a patient runner. He's yards after contact. That run he broke out of there was really big for us. I think that wasn't that the one that took it from 8 to 15, I guess? I mean, that was a huge run. He was really patient. I don't know if those guys can see him behind him. He's so little.
How do you simulate the pace? How do you simulate the pace this week, Coach?
Good question. That'll be an age-old question. I think every defensive coordinator across college football is trying to figure that out, and we're all searching. There's no way. I mean, let's be honest. You can 2 huddle, you can 3 huddle, you can shotgun huddle, you can go against air, but they do it and they do it really well, and it's really hard to defend.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay,